Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Rachachorash. Give honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all like the Akim. Wa Akwatim, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. This is going to be another video, through the Spirit. Another of the words, the meaning of words in the Old and New Testament. Alright, in the two words that I'm going to be, this time it'll be two. Sometimes it'll be three, maybe, be more one of these days, but this one I'm just focusing on two. And the word being mark. Alright, the word mark in the Old Testament in a specific scripture, and then the word mark in the New Testament in a specific scripture. Alright, and I'm focusing on this word in particular because you have certain people. Alright, because here at Great Millstone, and it's simply the truth. It's not just that we teach it. We know that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, and one of the key components to finding out is to looking up the word mark in the New Testament when it's being mentioned specifically in the book of Revelation. Alright, that helps give key clues. So what scoffers do, they like to take the word mark out of different other scriptures, alright, and to try to throw it at us. Alright, and they also try to go to this word, but we're actually going to compare and contrast the mark here in Ezekiel 9 and 4 and the mark in Revelation. Alright, so this is Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, "In Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." So in this scripture, it lets you know that a certain mark is going to be put into the foreheads, into the minds of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations done in Babylon and in the midst of Jerusalem, meaning amongst our people. All right, so is this talking about a physical mark right here? And this one, is this talking about something, that'll be hand passed to you? No. All right, we're going to see what it's talking about. All right, looks like ta or tawa. Alright, desire, mark, a sign of exemption from judgment. By implication, a signature, a desire, a mark. Alright, and this one's, it's a certain desire. Alright, it says, I'm just going to substitute the definitions for the word there. Alright, and set a desire upon the foreheads of the men. Alright, it says what? And set a sign of exemption from judgment upon the foreheads of the men. Alright, so that's what that represents. This is a mental thing. This word here, mark, alright, a desire is nothing tangible. When you desire something, you can't grab desire. Alright, now the desire is you wanting and chasing after something. Alright, you can grab whatever it is that you want, but the emotion or the feeling of desire itself is non-tangible. Alright, so this mark isn't dealing with something physical. This is dealing with the spiritual. Alright, this is the Salak. If it's not Tawa, it might be Thawa. Salakia. I'm not all that good with the Assyrian H8420. Thawa, alright, or Thawa. Or no, I was thinking of Torah, but this I believe it's Thawa. Alright, so Salakia, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But this is dealing with a mental aspect, alright? A thought process that would be placed in the minds of the elect in the 1/3, those that wish to see the destruction of the 2/3 and the destruction of Babylon, right? And the restoration of the nation of Israel. This is nothing physical, alright? There's a time period, a couple years back. I forget which camp specifically, but they were trying to point to this word mark to disprove the RFID chip. Absolute silly baboons. All right. This is an ideology, if you will. All right, a belief that will be placed into the minds of those that are sighing and crying. A mindset. All right, a way of thinking. So now we're going to go to Revelation to show the difference between these marks. Let me just jump down. All right. So the mark mentioned here, I'll just start at verse, this is Revelation 13 and 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So not only is this a whole different word, this is Greek, an entirely different language. So the word mark here, which is the mark of the beast, all right, charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist or Anti-Mashiach. It says the mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, a sculpture, graven work. So this is describing something that is physically done. All right. To know, it says a stamp, an imprinted mark. All right. This is not something mental or metaphorical or an ideology. This is actually physical. Just looking at the definitions, a thing carved. When you're carving something, that's physical. That's not a. There's no. You can use it in a metaphorical way, but when you're actually carving something, that takes physical work. A sculpture is physical, graven work. All right. To brand a horse, you need a physical that little hot iron that you light on fire and you stamp it up against their ass, and they try to kick your chest out. All right, that's physical. This charagma, an etching, a scratch, a stamp. All right. So the word mark, charagma, is something physical, which is why the mark of the beast, which we know is the RFID chip, in which it actually is the only thing that fits modern day. It can't be anything else. It can't be a mindset. It can't be Christianity, a belief system. You can't carve Christianity on a nigga chest. You can't carve the love of Edomites. You had that motherfucker General Yohana. And that look at the white woman right there is shut the fuck up, man. All right, the mark of the beast is not being a coon. All right, and being a coon is gonna get you killed. I'm not downplaying that. Loving your enemy isn't something you should do, but that in and of itself is not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast mentioned here, the charagma, is something physical and tangible. All right, that can be seen and that will be implanted inside of the simpletons that side with Esau Edom. All right, and so I want to see if I can find karax. I want to find the root word for it. Karax, there we go. So the root word actually for charagma is karax. A pale, a stake, a palisade. The palisade being the needle, the instrument that is used to deliver the actual chip. All right, a palisade, a rampart. A pale stake, you set spikes, pales, and stakes down to keep a tent attached to the ground at night. All right, these are things that are physical. It says pales between which earth, stone, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. Yep, Khan. Origin from karasso, to sharpen to a point. You don't sharpen a mindset to a point or an ideology or a thought. You sharpen something physical. Akin says through the idea of scratching, to sharpen to a point. A stake, that is, by implication, a palisade, rampart. All right, Khan. So once again, just reiterating the point. This is G5482. The differences between the mark there in Ezekiel 9 and 4 and in Revelation describing the mark of the beast for the scoffers. All right, I can't remember who exactly, but I know there was a scoffer who was trying to point to Ezekiel 9 and 4 to disprove us here at Great Millstone when we teach about the mark of the beast. All right, it's fine and dandy because those people have to exist. There has to be a set of idiots that don't know what it is, and there has to be a bigger set of idiots that teach otherwise and trick those idiots. All right, so it's all a part of the Most High's plan. All right, there's one mark you want, and there's one mark that you don't want. All right, you want that mark of exemption from judgment. All right, and you want to avoid the charagma, the karax. All right. Hey, so I hope this is just another edifying video. Just going into the words. Hey, like in the elder apostle Gabar pushes it heavy, and all the apostles, don't get me wrong, but I know the elder apostle Gabar says it a lot, and the elder apostle Tar. You gotta know the meaning of words. All right, niggas just be talking. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, B'Chachurash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all elect Akim. walk with them, learning, teaching in truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.